Hi everyone, in this video I'm gonna explain to you about the media culture. But first, let's define culture. So when we say culture, it is a customary beliefs, social forms, and material traits, religious or social group. In other words, culture is about us, our beliefs, our religion, and attitude. Generally, culture is symbolized as a Filipino. And now, let's define media. When we say media, it's about communication channel through we had disseminate information. For short explanation about media, it is about of means of communication. And now, let's move forward to media culture for us to better understand what is media culture. So, when we say media culture, refers to the culture created under the influence of mass media. So, it is the impact of society's information, consumption, and intellectual guidance. So, which means the media is a factor of mainstream culture. Because of media, it influences our opinion, attitude, beliefs, and our life. So by media, as Filipino, we can consume information through this form of data. And that's it for media culture, and I hope you understand the topic. Thank you.
Hello everyone. We are the Group 4 and we will discuss the global media cultures. So in this report, we will discuss the following. Analyze how various media drive various forms of globalization intervention. Explain the dynamic between local and global cultural production. So media uh, Media culture explores the relationship between the media, culture, and globalization. So first, let us define what is globalization, media, and culture. So globalization, it is where the process by which the world is becoming increasingly interconnected as a result of massively increasing trade and cultural exchange. Meanwhile, media. Media has played a significant role in shaping the global process of economics, politics, and culture. The three aspects that make up the multi-dimensional globalization. Media is also a tool for the interaction of people with different culture. Media also is a carrier of culture. Globalization could not occur without media. Globalization and media have proceeded together through time and supported these claims by outlining the development of media throughout time. So globalization could not occur without media because media is where uh, people tend to give information, take and give situation. Meanwhile, culture is the undefined style of human knowledge, belief, and behavior from which people learn, and the ability to communicate knowledge to the next generation. It, its development has been mainly influenced by media. So there are five stages of development of media. It is oral communication, script, printing press, electronic media, digital media. So oral communication is the first stage of development of media because oral communication is a language allowed humans to communicate and share information, become the most important tool for exploring the world and different culture, and it helps people to move and settle down. So oral communication is the first stage. It is where humans uh, tend to communicate and share information. It is the important tool too because it is no use if you don't know how to speak. You don't know how to talk. So next is script. Script, it allows human to communicate over a large space. and for a much longer duration. It allows the permanent confidential of economic, cultural, and political practice. Next is the printing press. It allows the continuation, production, reproduction, and circulation of printing materials. For examples are newspaper, magazines, and so forth and so on. Electronic media. It includes the telegraph, telephone, radio, film, and television. The wide range of media continues to open a new perspective in economic, political, and cultural process of globalization. So it is where a telephone, radio are used. It's a tool for globalization to increase trade. Next and last, the fifth stage is digital media. It allows the advertisement or advertisement of production and online business transaction. So digital media, it is where the modern kind of media, for example, Twitter, Facebook, Shopee, like that, they advertise a product and people tend to buy those products online, like the new normal that we are getting now. That's all. And next reporter.
Various media thrive forms of global integration. So, various media are used for globalization to work all over the world. Modern media comes in many different formats including print media, books, magazine, and newspaper. Media components such as television, internet, computer are considered to have a significant influence on globalization. Mass media play a key role in extension of globalization process. The media components such as television, internet, computer are considered to have a paramount influence on globalization. What is global integration? The process with which the global Indian market open up to the global economy. Global economic integration measuring the impact of globalization on individual economic. Global integration can involve the process of product standardization or standardization and technology development centralization. The process by which a company combines different activities around the world so that they operate using the same method. Globalization is not possible to occur without media. Electronic media allow opportunities to spread all over the world. So I think it is impossible for globalization to occur without media. It is because media is the one who gives information not only in every country but globally and internationally. Radio and television is a powerful mass medium in providing accessible information for people. Technology has the power to affect not only education but also culture, region, and personal thoughts and beliefs. Digital media through phone and computers allow people to access information from around the world. Digital media is any communication media that operates in conjunction with various encode machine readable data formats. Global and local culture product. What is global product mean? Global product are those products that are marketed internationally under the same brand name, feature, and specification across country. Example of global product: 1. Coca-Cola and McDonald's, Apple and Marlboro.
With the use of radio and television, as well as the internet, global products can be easily shown to people in getting people's attention. So let's now go to cultural products. Cultural products are goods and services such as art, architecture, museum, etc. that showcase the history and information of a certain which belong to that country's culture heritage. So cultural products are one's products that are present to that country but it's not present to the others. Culture products can be global products if it can be seen everywhere in the world.
Dynamics between global and local cultural production. Globalization led local and global cultural production intersect. Local and global entities are both partners and rivals under globalization. Collaboration. It is necessitated by their desires to expand while being sensitive to local sensibilities. Rivalry. It is competition is assured by the continuing relevance of cultural differences during globalization. The dynamics between global and local culture is that globalization tends to emphasize similarities, whereas local emphasizes difference. The relationship between the individual and the group is dynamic in that both depend upon and interact with each other. The cultural context in which this occurs is what distinguishes societies from one another.
Now, let's proceed with the three perspective on global cultural flows. So, global flows of culture tend to move more easily around the globe than ever before, especially through non-material digital forms. So, there are three perspective on global cultural flows. So we have first one, the cultural differentialism, the second one, the cultural hybridizations, and the cultural convergence. So why do you think that the global flow of culture tend to move more easily around the world? It is because so much of it exists in the forms of ideas, words, images, musical sound, and so on. Culture tend to flow comparatively easily throughout the world because the culture exists in increasingly and digitized forms. So let's start with cultural differentialism. So it stated there that it it suggests the culture differences as immutable. So what do you mean by that? So this emphasizes the fact that the culture are essentially different and are only superficially affected by the global flows. So these interactions of culture is deemed to contain the potential for catastrophic illusion. So when we say catastrophic illusion, it is the sudden terrible disaster. So for example, you remember the terrorist attacks on 1911 and the subsequent wars in um, Afghanistan and Iraq. So, to many people, these events are seen as the product of a clash between the Western and Islamic culture and the internal differences between them. So, para mas masabtan Jude, from the world differentialism, from the world different, obviously kayo siya na because of globalizations, dili na tumaybawan ang pagkalalahi o culture around the world. Second one, we have the cultural hybridization. So it suggests that globalization engenders a growing sameness of culture. So means this is a process by which a cultural element blends into another culture by modifying the element to fit the cultural norms. So this emphasizes the integration of local and global culture. It is said that globalization is considered to be a creative process which gives rise to the hybrid entities that are not reducible either global or the local. So for example, fashion. Yes, because of globalization ang fashion kay nagka-hybrid, nagkahiusa because of the fashion. Next, we have the food. Diba, nasa mga restaurants, for example, ka na ikaw kay murag nakipag imong food is lahi siya, lahi ang food sa usa, and it is because para ninyo ng fit siya, gipangita siya sa mga tao, so diha siya like, first of all, na hybrid nagkahiusa, nagtipon sila because they have like the sameness, pareha sila, mo nang nagkatipon sila. So, tungod sa globalization, nagresulta siya sa pagpadaghan, sa pagpatipon sa mga kultura. So, like, ang usa ka kultura, kay nitipon pa sa usa ka culture, pero dapat, di mo siya i-modify, it fit ba siya sa ilang standard? Like, na-fit ba siya, murag, buguhon pa nimo para ma-fit siya sa cultural, sa iyong norms, sa iyong nakasanayang culture. So, because of globalization, mas nagtipon ang mga kultura. So, mo siyang gitag na hybridization. The last one, we have the cultural convergence. So, it's stated in the screen that it suggests that globalization spawned an increasing and ongoing mixing of culture. So this cultural approach stresses homogeneity introduced by globalization. So when we say homogeneity, being all the same or all of the same kind. So in this approach, it means that cultures are deemed to be radically altered by strong focus. While when we say cultural imperialism, so it happens when one culture imposes itself and tends to destroy at least parts of another culture. So this means that convergence is when cultures are subject to many of the same global flows and tend to grow more alike. For example, technology. Technology na itong gamit karon, di ba nagkanam-anam siya ka-modern. And using technology, this enables people from different countries to have immediate access to new ideas and cultural identities. So, small, big or large businesses across the globe use internet to interact with a wide customer base. So, technology is also a way of interacting different people, like from other countries, other localities, other nationalities. Another example, we have accessing language. Yes, participating in politics and celebrating sports. So, to understand, because of globalization, nagresult siya sa pagpaparehog sa mga kultura. Ingon na din na tungod sa globalization, makaingon jud ta na naadjay mga culture na same ta. Pareha jud ta. Kaya itong given ako na example na technology. All of us are using technology. All of us are using that same language. All of us are participating in politics and sports and so on.
So, by the end of this topic, and for our better understanding, generally 5 stages of development of media have greatly influenced the globalization of culture, from Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. So, connected rin sila, no? And they influence each other. Media influence globalization, and globalization influence media as well. So, media produce and reproduce cultural products around the globe. So, by the help of media, we can produce, sell product all over the world. By the help of media, it increase the cultural interaction. As a result of interaction that exhibit local culture and influence our media culture.